What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Zach Perna podcast. Today, I want to talk about the two methods of a $1 million coaching business. So these are the most common. This is a couple avenues you can go. You can go a combination of these two, but these are two methods of creating a seven-figure coaching business. So I want to talk about those. The first one is low ticket, and the second one is high ticket. So I want to talk a little bit about low ticket. I want to talk about when you use these, when each would be a superior business model, I guess, and then also maybe a combination of both and how that would work. So as a reminder, if you guys are new here and you want online coaching tips and growing your social media, you're in the right place. If you want my help with that, you can join the Social Blueprint as well, where we help coaches make a shitload more money and have more impact, more money, more freedom. So low ticket. What is low ticket? Low ticket is anything that is, I'd say, around less than $100, and that is either as a one-off payment or a kind of a subscription kind of thing. Now, when would you use low ticket? Low ticket is great for when you have a large audience, when you have a lot of leads. Maybe you have a lot of leads with a lower capacity to pay, but you have no lead problem. Low ticket is really, really good for that. So as an example of that, I did my low ticket program. I was selling programs for maybe between $30 to $50 a month, and I had thousands of people going through that as well and staying on. And if you make the program really good, then you're dealing with the kind of lifetime value of someone on the program as well. So it may be $30 in the front end, but then if it's $30 month on month and the average person sticks around for, 6 months, you're dealing with a couple $100. So that's essentially low ticket at its core. And I think some of the best months I did low ticket were, over $100,000 a month in low ticket. The good thing about low ticket products is it's quite easy to sell because it's like almost like an impulse buy. They're like, oh, it's $30, I'll try it. Now, the bad thing about that is you need scale. You need numbers, because if you don't have numbers and you're selling low ticket, it's like challenging, as it'll cannibalize your sales. So I see some creators that try to do low ticket, but they have 8 customers. So now they've just made $200 and they're like, great, now what? And then those same 8 customers could have paid a lot more. So that's where a high ticket program is probably more beneficial. So there's a couple of different pros and cons for each one, right? Like the pros is if you have a large audience that's there, or a very unique product in that you could use ads and market it and send and funnel traffic to that product, amazing. That's great. And you can figure out the costs and the profit and loss and if it's profitable or not for you to do that. But in kind of a summary, you need traffic to get people to get that low ticket, and it's got to be something a little bit different that's a bit unique. Now, high ticket. I think high ticket is, it's everyone's definition is different, but mine is probably like anything over $1,000. I'd say is high ticket, relatively high ticket, because it, depending on the industry, but it's harder to sell based off like just a DM or a website. Like you usually need a call and something else to kind of facilitate it and warm them up and things like that. So high ticket is, in my opinion, the easiest way for anyone to make money, whatever you're in. I think it's the easiest way, because that's just simple fact that it is easier to get one person to pay $1,000 than 1,000 people to buy something for $1, in my opinion, in my experience as well. So it is usually easier to find the right person that really needs something, that has the capacity to pay, than finding heaps of people that kind of need something. So just food for thought when you're designing your offer and your product, you could put it that way. That's why it's quite important to have a good audience and avatar that you're targeting, because if you can really niche down on that, you know exactly what they want, you can deliver it, and that's why you can put a high price on it. So high ticket is typically that kind of level. So let's talk about what it looks like for a low ticket to reach around that kind of, $1 million year mark. It's pretty much like 84K a month, I think, or around $80,000 a month. Essentially, you need some kind of subscription service. So this could be an app, software. This could be school, the new school. It does pretty well on that because it's like a recurring payment. And you need people to be signing up for and staying on. So they're not just signing up for 1 month and leaving. So that means the product has to be good. And you need a way of funneling traffic. So you need them to either sign up on the website or the school link or whatever that looks like, but you need to funnel the traffic there. So you need to usually facilitate that with your content. So easiest way, it's free, is content to send people to a landing page to purchase something that is around $30 to $50 or under $100 a month. And it's a subscription style product, because then at the end of the day, all you really need is, several hundred people on it, and then you've got $1 million business. So it's pretty easy in that sense if you have the audience. If you don't have the audience, well, now it becomes harder, because now you have to use paid ads or another means of advertising, and you're relying now on getting people to the page to buy. So now you have to factor that in. So it might cost you $50 to get someone to buy, and you have to make sure that they can stick around for long enough to justify that. So they have to at least be on there for 2 months. at least. Otherwise, you'll lose money on the person, which is not ideal. So as an example with my coaching, when I was doing the low ticket, if I got someone on for $100, I was willing to pay ads $100 per sale because I knew that people would stick around for an average of 6 to 8 months. So I factored all that in, and then I could scale it a little bit harder with ads. So that's the first simplest way. Now, in terms of high ticket, all you really need is that $1,000 offer. So you need an offer that is really, really good for your target audience. The target audience is pretty niche down, and you need to tick all the boxes of what they want. You need to have a sales system where you get them on a call, you have the chat on the call, you get them over the line, and you pitch that product for around, let's call it $2,000. Let's call it $2,000 on average. And in that case, you only need 40 signups a month consistently, and then you have that level of income as well. So that's the same thing. Now, at that point, you'll need more help with the fulfillment side of things, like having a coaching team and things like that. But essentially, the means of getting people on is the same as the other one. We just need less of them. So some from content, but ads is typically where you can shine a little bit more because you have clearer numbers on cost per lead, and then how many leads like are needed to turn into a sale, and then what that sale is worth to you. So if you get 100 leads, and out of those 100 leads, you get 5 sales that each are valued at 10 grand, you'll be able to put a number on that much easier. And it's a little bit easier to scale with ads, I've found. Whereas you don't have a cash flow problem when you're doing like the high ticket. Whereas when you're doing low ticket, you have a cash flow problem sometimes because you're paying for the future value of customers when they're not paying in full for 6 months. They're paying like $20 today. So a little bit different, but either way, both can be scaled with ads, and both need content for organic, low cost ads, like advertising, no cost advertising, and you need different types of campaigns for ads. So both can be scaled, but it depends on the audience size. Because if you're thinking, which one do, I would do high ticket first, because I'm assuming you don't have a huge audience. If you have a huge audience, low ticket. Now, here's where they work really, really cool together. The low ticket is used as a stepping stone basically to the high ticket. So you guys probably know what a lead magnet is. People give you, well, you put out some information in exchange for people's contact, and then you'll hit them up and basically see if they're wanting to jump on the main gig. The low ticket is often used as a lead magnet if you do it well, whereby you sell something for $30 and then use that as a lead magnet to then reach out to the person and be like, hey, how'd you find the thing? Schedule a call. So for example, if you have a low ticket product that you're selling in fitness, you'll sell it, one click. As soon as the payment's made, you'll check in with the guy. Like, hey, I just saw you purchase that, that template or something. How are you finding it all? Have a chat, get him on a call, discuss it a little bit more, get into why they bought it, guessing they bought it because there's a particular reason. They're having a problem, they want to fix it. And then you'll get into a conversation about that, oh, wow, well, actually, it sounds like you need something a little bit more. Would you be open to that? Because here's what I've got in mind. And you kind of go through the whole sales process, whatever your script is, of what they really need help with. Because if they really need help, then you're better off pitching the high ticket. And then you go, here's the real deal. And that's really good because if you can use both of those, you can pay for advertising to sell the low ticket. And then that's basically a free lead. They paid $30, say you paid $50 to get that sale. Now you have a lead that's cheaper, that's already buying. And buying leads are way better than free leads as well. So they work well hand in hand together. But that helps when you have like advertising. Otherwise, you're doing it strictly off organic, which if you've got a good following, that's also really good. But I would always suggest having the two. So if you have a low ticket, always have a high ticket, because there's going to be portions of the market that actually are willing to pay what you wouldn't think they're willing to pay, but they exist. So out of every 100 people that want to pay $100 for the thing, there's going to be 2 people who want to pay 1,000 to get it done quickly and better. So keep that in mind. If you're selling low ticket stuff, always have an ascension, always have a step above that they can purchase for way more expensive. And you can add more of yourself, you can add more accountability, you can add more exclusivity as well as more of the actual thing, whatever you're selling. A better way. Usually it's faster, easier, more efficient. And focus on what traffic you want. And ideally it's organic as a base and then facilitated with ads, because that's the best way. They go hand in hand together. So if you're straight up starting, I would go high ticket first. If you're already in the middle of it and you have a bit of a following and you think I'm doing some high ticket, but I think I want to leverage a bit of low ticket, sure, go for it, because it's a very easy way to get to more income because it's usually less hands-on. And if you're doing one or the other, I would go high ticket. So I hope that's not too confusing on those, but I love high ticket sales for money. I mean, I love the automation of low ticket stuff and how easy that can be. And I love the combination of both because they work really, really well together. So let me know if you have any questions on this. Happy to dive a bit deeper into each one, but I thought I would explain, because I'm getting a few questions on like how that's kind of possible, and it's very possible. You just need traffic. You need to send people to a particular point. You need to have a conversion mechanism of either buying online or having a call, and you need to double down on what's working. So I hope that helps. Let me know, guys. If you're enjoying this, it would mean a lot if you shared it or commented, gave me a great review. I haven't even asked for reviews. Damn, I need reviews. 5-star review, please, and let me know once you've done it. I want to personally thank you. Love you guys. See you in the next one.